According to Social Solutions, about 600,000 people in the United States are homeless. Half of those people are over the age of 50. There are many programs around the country that work to end homelessness. Still, some say people walking down the street are likely to ignore a homeless person asking for change. Now, I spoke with a couple of people who experienced homelessness. Let's see what they had to say.
I come from a background of abuse, severe abuse, from family abuse, sexual abuse. I have 2 children. My mother kidnapped them. It's just like a lot of abuse, and the snowball of abuse has never stopped in my life. And I'm at the point now where it's like, hey, I need some peace. You know, even though I'm inside of a place living, I felt like I was in prison and I was dying because I was in a facility where I was supposed to be being taken care of, and no one looked upon my needs.
And so you're speaking of a homeless shelter that you were in.
It was like more of a transitional housing, but I came out of the shelter into a transitional housing. I was supposed to have that same level of care, but that care did not come with me when I moved into this housing unit. So it's basically I'm in there dying.
It's sad. They come out here, church people come out here and feed us and give us brand new clothes. That's where I got all this from, right? And you got jealous somebody in the bunch, and oh yeah, I've been pushed 2 times out here.
Those working to end homelessness had this to say.
The thing that has struck me as a kind of an outsider coming in is the drugs and the mental health. That seems to me the biggest problem for homelessness in this city. So much drugs, and a lot of the mental health problems that we see stem from that. You know, I'm not saying that that's the only thing. Obviously, there's all the other reasons that you've listed, and there's just really bad luck. You know, people never get called by their name once they're living on the streets. Nobody takes any notice of you, and just to have someone know your name and sit and chat to you for half an hour over a coffee about whatever it is, big or small your problem, that's really valuable. And I think that's really part of our calling as Christians, is to show that God's love is for everybody.
Blog Urban's Vintage recently revealed that Beyonce Knowles has given $7 million to the homeless community in her Houston hometown. Now, Beyonce created the housing complex in 2007 in response to the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. As many as 43 people can live in the Knowles Tenemos Place apartments at any given time. Those people would likely be homeless otherwise. Now, the facility provides meals as well as job readiness training. They also offer HIV and AIDS screenings and provide case management services. It seems there is a need for more facilities like this to help people sooner rather than later. Imagine the challenges people could face if the Trump administration cuts the Department of Housing and Urban Development's budget. Earlier this month, dozens of buses headed to the nation's capital for the tenant march on Washington. They asked for help now so they won't need to later. I'm here at the Church of Reformation, where people from all over the country, as well as many buses from New York, have gathered to protest Donald Trump's housing cut. To Donald Trump, they say, think about the children. Residents of low-income housing will not be the only ones affected by the Trump administration's budget cuts.
We have in this country around 1,500 red counties that supported Donald Trump, and these are going to be the people that are going to be most impacted by this cut.
Almost $7.4 billion in funding could be slashed from the Department of Housing and Urban Development's budget. This would eliminate housing vouchers for 250,000 households.
Dollars that the president is cutting to HUD and the NYCHA program will actually leave us living in the dark.
Over 13 buses from New York made their way to the nation's capital.
Just the idea of me being homeless is very frightening. It's very frightening, it's terrifying, and it doesn't give me a sense of security.
They say that a fight for housing is a fight for human rights.
A lot of my clients will be homeless and or dead because housing is their health care.
And New Yorkers aren't the only people upset. Local D.C. residents say it's a national issue.
cuts to the services, and to the services that our community receive in housing, in education, and in healthcare, will directly impact our families.
While it's unclear of what will become of affordable housing, it is clear that this march is just the beginning.
Please don't let us be homeless. Please.
At the Church of Reformation in Washington, I'm Angel Ito. Whether it be a veteran, someone with a mental illness, or maybe someone that's just fallen on hard times, homelessness is an issue that should not be ignored. Even in the nation's capital, home of democracy, many Americans struggle to find a place to lay their heads. That's all for now. See you next time.